I read somewhere that there's an epidemic of despair, particularly among young people. And while that's very sad, it also occurred to me that there's a correlation between the amount of consciousness that's going on, the raising of consciousness. So if you're despairing, obviously do all the things that you need to take care of your mental health, like the rest of us. But it may not be completely just your mental health, because we're in a world that is not that interested in consciousness. So if you are, it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing to look around and be conscious and see through the curtain a little bit and realize that everybody's behaving as if everything is fine. And it's obviously not fine. Everybody's behaving as if we're very sophisticated and we're very, we're doing great things. And in one way we are, but then in another way we're not. So the despair that you feel is part of the process. You kind of go through it. And it's very difficult. So I wouldn't underestimate it or undermine yourself with going, oh well, I've got a mental health problem. Yes, you might have a mental health problem. You might need all the support that comes with that. But also, don't rule out the fact that it's to do with you being more conscious. You're seeing things. You're seeing things that other people are just numb to or have made themselves numb to. And you can't. You just can't turn away. You can't forget. You can't not see. You can't not feel. And that's okay. You will learn to live with it. It's a matter of focus, what you focus on. Because the spiritual life looks great on paper. We've all seen the statues, the Buddhas, the peace, the harmony. So when you start to become more conscious, and you feel this deep despair and this heartbreak for humanity, for your friends, for your loved ones, just for people you've never met. So it's not so it doesn't look so good, It's not like where's the serenity, where's the peace? And it's there, but you can go through this. They call it the dark night of the soul, they call it different things. But I think this thing of despair that I was reading about, I think quite a bit of that is to do with that a lot of younger people are becoming more conscious. And with consciousness initially comes a kind of despair. But if you don't know what's happening, you can just feel like it's just normal despair. It's just like everybody else. And it might be. But if you're listening to me, probably not. It's probably to do with consciousness. And as I say, do take care of yourself. Like get enough sleep, exercise, do all the things that everybody else has to do for their mental health. But then also know that what you're dealing with is consciousness, and you're growing consciousness. And that all the things that are breaking your heart, it's justified. There's a lot of heartbreaking things going on. And it's not because they're terrible, even though they are terrible. It's because you're seeing unconsciousness at work. You're seeing what happens, or people growing in a way. Because even though things look terrible, and every generation feels like, oh, this is the worst it's ever been. Every generation feels like that. And you could go, no, we've never had threats like this before. It's like, well, okay, you can think like that, but you don't have to look at history, and every generation feels the same. Like things are really bad in a way they've never been before. So you can feel that. But what you're feeling, the despair, I think a lot of that has to do with seeing unconsciousness. I'm not telling you how you feel. I'm just telling you my experience of what I went through. And it's not like it goes away. It's not like, oh, I don't have any, I don't register the despair at all. I feel it. I feel it very keenly. I don't watch the news. I don't go looking for it, but it finds me. I hear about things. And it's heartbreaking. I'm heartbroken for the people that the things are being done to, and the people who are doing those things. I'm heartbroken for them all, because I know it's just unconsciousness at work. And a lot of people it's just business as usual. And that can be very disturbing. So, have a look. Have a look if it is to do with your unconsciousness and with you becoming more conscious. And keep going. Keep going with your consciousness further and further. Because it's not, as I say, it's not like you're trapped in the despair forever. It's there, but then you also move into, well, what do I do about it? Now the answer to that question is different for different people. For some people, they're very moved to physically go and do something about whatever it is that they see. And that will be down to your particular configuration. And it's very important I think, to know what your configuration is, because everybody's different. And for some people, as I say, it will be all about going and doing stuff, but not for everybody. Not everybody is going to go and do things. You have to do what you're moved to do. And how you find out what you're moved to do is by knowing yourself and by being still and meditating, getting to know your inner landscape. But if you're not moved to do anything externally, that doesn't mean you can't do anything. Remember, you're living in a dream. In the virtual reality metaphor, it's all pixels. And it's all coming out of you. So you can learn how to change the story, change the pixels. There's a lot you can do inside, because it's so believable, isn't it? This thing that we're all in. And it feels like you're just a little insignificant person on a planet. But I encourage you to check your experience. Are you looking out into a big world, or are you looking into a little screen-like reality. When you think of it like that, you can kind of go, oh, okay, yes, I can do something here. Very similar to, you know, video games. I don't play video games, but you know, I've seen people with the headsets on and seen inside it, and you know, it looks very believable and it's very three-dimensional, just like this does. So you can begin to learn how to change it. Change it in little small ways that are meaningful for you. Start small. Don't try and hit a big target, or don't try and hit a target that's very far away from you. Bring the target very close so you can definitely hit it. So instead of starting off with world peace or ending a particular conflict or situation, start off with something really small that you can hit. I use money because it's measurable. I can't kid myself about it. If I want to see if I can change the story a little bit, I don't start off with millions and millions of euro. Start off with 10. I wonder, can I bring 10 euro to me today? But it doesn't have to be money. It can be anything. It can be flour. It can be a phone call. Start with something that you can believe in. Start with something very small that you can definitely feel like you can believe could happen. And hit that target a few times before you begin to move it. And don't move it too far. Just move it a little bit back further. So if it's 10 euro today, you know, make it 20 euro next week. If it's 1 rose today, make it 2 roses next week, and so on. Figure out how to change the story from the inside. You can do something about it. Everything here is kind of geared up to make you feel like you can't, which is part of the fun. It's part of the game. So feeling the despair is a kind of, you're not seeing what's inside you being reflected outside you. You're not seeing what's inside you being reflected in existence or in the pixels in the story. Because what you are on the inside is lovely. You don't want anybody to be hurt. You don't want any tree to be chopped down that doesn't need to be. You don't want any animal to be killed that doesn't need to be. And do any animals need to be killed? I don't think so. But that's me. What you'll find, though, is that the despair is that the external existence, what we called external, it's actually internal. You're looking into it. But anyway, I won't get too confusing about it. It doesn't reflect you on the inside. That's where the despair comes from. So seeing that and beginning to focus on changing it in the way that I was saying. I mean, if you want to, as I say, if you move to go and do things in existence, great, go and do those. But if you're not, don't be kind of like, oh, I'm not going to go and protest. I'm not going to go and run for Congress. I'm not going to do anything. Now I feel even worse. There's a lot you can do on the inside. A lot. But it takes practice, and it requires a lot of engaging from this very believable existence. In order to change it, you have to see it for what it is. So my book, The Gentle Snap, is very good for beginning to see that process, beginning to see through the gaps in existence. And as I say, learn how to do it very gently. The people who are very interested in manifestation are very onto a lot of this. Now their focus is on, you know, money and or love or whatever, and that's all fine. But just speaking to this thing of despair, if you focus on what it is that is not being reflected in existence and what you'd like to bring into existence, then you can use something tangible to build up your confidence and to build up your belief that it will work, or that you're, give yourself confidence. Hit the target you can hit, make it close, make it possible, and then you can go for the bigger things over time. So, and keep going with your spiritual and your journey in consciousness, because it will continue to inform you. Despair is just part of it, and it will find its place in the bigger journey that you're in. So yeah, if you are despairing, I feel for you. I've been there and I kind of am there, but there's a lot you can do. So be of good cheer.